People think they know all about women in the mafia from movies. Like the famous ending of The Godfather.
Don't ask me about my business, Kate.
Is it true?
Don't ask me about my business.
No.
Does it make you smile when people think that women in the mafia are just housewives?
The women that are born into it and that are blood do have a lot of power.
And that's why when your father got arrested, you stepped up.
Yeah.
What did
I
you
had to, because if not, everything would have fallen apart.
My investigation of the Calabrian Mafia is showing me a side of organized crime that has never been seen before. The feminine side.
6 donne, la compagna di Condello, 2 sorelle, la suocera di un cugino, 2 amiche, tenevano la cassa della cosca, facevano da prestanome, nascondevano armi.
Le donne non possono essere fuori da questo discorso. Il comando ce l'hanno loro, perché molti mariti o molti figli sono in galera e quindi devono loro gestire le attività dell'ordine.
One woman stands out. She was the boss of a mafia family. Now she lives in exile. Her name is Marisa Merico. Is it true that when there is a mafia war, the mind behind the whole retaliations and everything are the women?
Yeah.
Can you explain it?
Like in every walk of life, there's people you can trust, there's people you can't, there's people you know are weak or strong. You know, most of the women in our family were all quite strong.
Your grandmother, you were actually born in her kitchen, right?
Yeah. She was the head of a family, a mafia family. By 1970, she had 12 children. And one of my auntie and uncle died in 1989 of heroin. And my grandmother actually gave them the drugs because she didn't want them to go and get it from anywhere else in case there was something wrong with it.
Your grandmother used to deal mostly heroin. Did you have a role in this?
My role was to take the money to pay for it.
How much are we talking about?
Sometimes it was 500 milioni, and that's where I met him.
Your first husband?
Yeah.
Bruno?
Bruno, yeah. It just always made me laugh, and then I became, I like him, and then I was with him for 4 years and I got pregnant.
So did you get married before giving birth?
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was good. I found out years later that the police were there and was also some men on bikes ready to kill my father. So if he'd have been there would have been a bloodshed because they probably would have killed me as well. And my father's cousins had been killed because there was a war going on in southern Italy.
A mafia war?
Yeah.
I was sort of christened then.
My grandmother's Serraino family was at war with other families and it was getting quite bad. There was a lot of casualties on both sides.
E quando a terra gli sparano 2 volte, in faccia.
Una vendetta, forse una faida interna fra clan calabresi.
Lo trovano carbonizzato nella sua macchina, con un proiettile conficcato in testa. Ci vogliono 3 giorni per identificarlo.
My father decided to step in. He was in contact with this massive arms dealer that could get him almost anything, and he did.
That you transported?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you realize at the time that the weapons you were transporting there would have killed people?
You just didn't think. It's like a one-way tunnel of, this is for my family, it's protecting my family. So I didn't have time with dilemmas within myself. I just didn't. I guess my grandmother was like that, as in she was angry that a lot of her brothers and her nephews had been killed. My grandmother's mind was an eye for an eye.
Le donne che sono quelle che tengono acceso il fuoco della vendetta, sono quelle che quando la sera tornano i mariti a casa li caricano come sveglie. Non sei uomo perché non senti il bisogno della vendetta.
che chi un bastardo cornuto un degno d'America, lo padre Michele, non tanto non aveva un mucacino morzarella.
E che dici?
Dice che sta girando in giro con la macchina che ha un cornuto i rigori, un bastardo che poi sta secondo 30 anni galera. O al massimo andavo polizia fai, dice che andavamo una cina con la serra elettrica, o papà ci disse no, non mo.
My father got arrested. I had to help him because he was my father.
You said you had to for your father, but
What was I going to be, another one that, you know, when the ship sinks, the rat runs?
Marisa, after your father was arrested, you were in charge of the family for a while.
I had no choice in that way, morally.
morally.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds...
That's a strong word, isn't it?
Can you explain how much power did you have in that moment?
The power was enormous. I was very protected by my father's men, and you know, I could have said anything to them, and they would have done without question.
They arrested me under the Act of Drug Trafficking, Money Laundering Act, and so they put me in a Category A prison, which was H Wing, Durham. It was a special women's unit that held the most notorious women in Britain at the time. They extradited me to Italy. I stood trial there, a trial, and I got convicted to 10 years, which...
You plead guilty?
Pleaded guilty, yeah.
Ci siamo messi noi in una posizione così, quindi non è che possiamo dare la colpa agli altri. Ti riempie solo di cattiverie, e io non voglio vivere così. Cioè, voglio vivere...
Oh, you're pulling my hair. Ah. Is it?